because that's gonna keep you with that strong foundation. That's gonna keep you with the bigger picture always in mind. Because when you're telling the basics to somebody, like we said, calcium, a little bit of protein out of there, or whatever, and some fat, you know, for kids. Well, this is what the scriptures give you. It's not too hard to digest, easy to accept. You don't need teeth. You know, same thing with this truth. We just will say, hey, break down Daniel 11, bro, go. You know, don't use the internet. You know, where's your book of Josephus? You can't do it. You know, like come on. So being able to keep the basics, you keep the bigger picture in mind here. You know, and that's no different than this milk than the milk of a child. So as they grow, you guys will see we throw easy stuff at you. As it gets harder and harder, brothers throw a little something extra. But you guys, just natural growth, and this thing is picking up on it. Yeah.
That ye may grow thereby.
Yep. So you may be able to grow thereby. And it's always good to keep a steady diet of milk. You know, some of these milk videos, like the apostles, man, you gotta love a meal by the apostles. You know, any of them, because when they put food out there, food for thought, food for your spirit, they'll go into a heavy topic and still hit basic understanding stuff. And it just milk scriptures to go with it, and it just always leads.
It may be a basic understanding, but they may add something to that you didn't know. Like, oh shit, I know this breakdown, but I didn't know that. Or I didn't know this. And that's why sometimes you see a title and you be like, oh, okay, I already know. Like, nah, you better watch that shit. Yeah. Not shit, but you better watch that video, because the apostle, man, especially the apostle hard, man, he be one thing.
He be somewhere else.
He be like,
yeah.
Then he got the spirit to bring it back to the main topic. Time over again.
Because what it is, it seems like he's way off, but what he's showing you, and this is something I enjoy watching for, where the direction that his mind goes in, and on this topic. But then, how did you jump way over to this? Well, that's where my mind goes. But his videos are so raw. He's telling you where his mind is going, and the scriptures that come to mind, and then the Google searches and all of that, showing you how this should become automatic to your mind. This is what we're really trying to grow to where our mind just fires and scriptures come to mind. Situation happens, scriptures come to mind. Somebody says something, scripture come to mind. To where you're now not just hearing the scripture, reading it, but now you have an experience to go with. Now you have an experience in the scripture to go with that you can use to live and practice.
That shows you the level of experience that they have. When they'll go into a topic, and then they'll kind of deviate for a minute and segue into something else, and even uncover the layers of it and find an angle to actually bring it right back. That takes experience of you know.
It's almost like a skill, bro.
It is a skill.
Yeah.
You know, that belong to they that are of full age. Right. They can discern by exercise. They can discern, man.
You can easily forget what you were actually trying to talk about. Right. 30 minutes into a video, you know? Try that at home.
That's not for everybody. You know? It is.
Hebrews 5:12. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. For everyone that uses...
So you have need of milk and not of strong meat. And you need, and you may be past that, you may not be at the meat level, but you may be a little heavier in the spirit with it, but you still need to go back and get some more of that milk and go back and refresh on the milk. Go get a nice glass with that, you know, and enjoy that. It's always a good part of the diet, man.
For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
And even what you said, it sparked like, you know, the stages. You got your milk, you got your bread, you got your water, you know, you got your wine, you got your meat. Bread, it tends to have like, you know, milk in it. You know, when it's being made, You know, so it's still the remnants of that milk, even though it's a different food, so to speak. You know, a different level. Yeah, water.
Water is still a liquid, but
Okay.
it's totally different makeup.
Yeah.
So you get a different flavor, a different something else.
Yeah.
Different purpose.
And then even meat. Hey, meat got to that stage because it have milk processed through it. You know, that animal.
Exactly. So, to prepare the meat, you got all the layers that it takes to have a steak. I'm just using that as an example. What do you got to do to get a steak in the ancient world? Now, when we go to the grocery store and go get a pack, you got to hunt. You got to have something to hunt. You got to have skill to hunt, not be killed by the animal. You got to hunt it down, kill it, skin it.
Like the brother said, you got to know
chop it
how to
down.
cut it right. You got to know what
Where to
meats
go to get it.
or how to cut it for this type of steak or the other type of steak, Angus beef or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a lot of shit. I mean, a lot of parts on the cow.
Killing that.
You know, so you got to be skillful.
Yeah, and it's not for everybody. You know, that's why they had the market in the ancient world too. You got something as well? Well, I'll let you get yours. You got something?
Hey, I'm gonna say this, bro. You got examples of men who thought that they were mature and grown in the spirit, but they choked up. Didn't want to stick to the milk because they thought if they keep eating the meat, they would just shoot up to a level so fast and they would get all this praise and glory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you start choking, what happens? It starts to come up. You start vomiting. You know?
Everything you put in your body for benefit is now being unprofitable to you.
Yep.
Because if you vomit too long, now you can't eat nothing.
Right.
Because your throat is sore.
And speaking of the knowledge and wisdom, you see a lot of guys like to shoot up to the top, where they obtain this knowledge, they got all this wisdom, they read these books, they go into the history, they're knowledgeable, but they took it down too fast, and they didn't allow it to digest. When you receive that knowledge, you gotta let it sit and then bring it out here, bring it out there. You just can't like the brother said, you just can't jump to the top. Oh, I know this breakdown. I know the second Ezra's 12 breakdown. I know the Daniel 12. I know more than the apostles. Well, I'm an apostle myself. Like, nah, pump your brakes, homie. A lot of these guys, they can have the knowledge, but the experience to go with it is one thing. You know what I mean? You could hoop, but you can't. But to play in the NBA, it's a whole different level.
And there's a scripture that says there was one that teacheth many, but yet is unprofitable to himself. That's one of those type of individuals. You think you're on a mature level, but you really are not. Because when it comes down to actually applying what you think you know, you're failing at it. You're failing at it. Then you become exposed and realize you are not that man that you thought you was.
Which is why I'm always, and brothers say things, I'm always like, the application of these things, the application of these things. That's what this is for. The book is for us to be able to take these laws, statutes, commandments, history, situations, and their parables, similitudes, all these things, and apply them. Now, a lot of times, some of these things you can apply in two different ways. Many things we just transition into back to the scripture. Now, this is a mature meal we're talking about now, not just about how to treat our earthly children. Right? But when people skip levels, that's when the problems start, Imagine if you're building a building and you just start skipping the process, you get it all the way to the top, well, it's going to get wobbly and it's going to crumble.
Hey, your experience isn't by how much you learn from a book. Yeah. Your experience is based on hands-on application.
Yeah. Week after week, in the trenches, in the cold, in the elements, dealing with demons on the street.
Handling issues, judging matters. How you dealing with your brother? How you dealing with your family? All these different things play into it, man.
Yeah.
But you learning all these scriptures, but knowing all that, you out here just being a nigga.
No, you good.
You filling your face with all type of bullshit, letting your health go. You know what I'm saying? You're not judging righteously towards your brother. You out there being a hypocrite. You out here teaching the law, but behind closed doors, you just being a complete demon. That shows that you had no growth. You just gloried in the things that you were that you memorized, but you got to show the experience, man.
You know
Hey,
what?
there's this scripture in the Sirach that says, "Better is he that better is the man that fear the Most High, even though he only has a small understanding, than a man who breaks the commandments, but he knows everything."
I can't think.
I think it's in Sirach 19.
Unprofitable to itself.
That's one of them, but I think it's another one. I'm talking about.
Sirach 19, and let's see.
Oh, it's not 20.
I'm going to start at 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. There is a wickedness and the same an abomination, and there is a fool wanting in wisdom. He that has small understanding and feareth Yahweh is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresses the law of the Most High.
Exactly. It's like you're learning all this, but what are you doing with all that you learned? Are you growing in what you learn? Can you apply it when the time suffices you to apply it?
You're using it to edify the church, not to gain self-glory and clout.
This is where I was going with it. And, for you that may have been around and remember when we first was dealing with the Black Consciousness group, with Brother Polite, and he was like, kind of, you could tell he was trying to grasp and trying to understand what we were going into. And then he was like, well, what can I learn this? We ain't about to give it to you.
That's like,
because we know you ain't going to do nothing good with it. You want it so you can keep your arguments going.
Right.
So you can counterpart and use it for your own self-glory. That's not what this is for.
I was going to say, that's got the guy in, I think it's Acts, he says, where can I buy this? That's a Polite going to do. You can't buy the spirit.
I just want to buy it so I can use it. Nah, man, that's what this is for.
I have
Elder Bond, Mississippi. He basically had a video where he was basically saying the two stages of this truth, in a sense, is when you're alone, it's called self-improvement, and then when you're when you're not by brothers, right? Or and then conduct. You know how you're moving after that self-improvement, man.
Yeah.
You know, which is true. You know, it's basically the application of that wisdom and storing up wisdom is the two parts of our lives, man. You know?
I want to make a point on you said about building a building, and you step in steps. But to build that building, you have to have a foundation.
Yeah.
So, say you build a building, but your foundation, the rebar, the cement ain't set, but you continue to build. What's eventually gonna happen? Shit gonna crumble.
Okay.
Right? So that's at the end of the day, if these guys out here, we'll just call them guys.
Yeah.
Their foundation ain't built on Yahweh Shema Shai. They're not coming in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. What's gonna happen?
Okay.
Like the elder Yasharamba says, Sakari, they didn't follow Yahweh Shai. They weren't followers of Yahweh Shai.
The ancient.
The ancient. Hell, so they're coming in that spirit, they not either. Because Yahweh Shai would not be conducting itself and moving like these guys are moving. I had a pre to Ephesians 2 and 8. Go ahead, bro.
And these men, they were zealous because they knew the law. They knew the law. They was wise in that aspect. But as far as their maturity in the spirit, they were fucking tadpoles. They were real immature, man. And they made very immature moves, and that's what led to the fall of Jerusalem. You know, fighting against those Romans. Yeah, they put up a good fight, but ultimately it cost.
Yeah, they committed suicide.
Because, it was infighting going on. A lot of men, women, and children getting slaughtered left and right. People getting starved out.
A bunch of them flee.
A lot of them fled and got up out of there. It was a mess. Because these dudes, they were not in the spirit, man. They were carnally minded. Which Paul said that to be carnally minded is death. To be spiritually minded is life in peace. You know.
I had this Ephesians 2:18. For through him we have both access by one Spirit unto the Father. Now therefore we are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of the Most High. That's the point. And are built upon the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, Yahushua HaMashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom...
Yeah, because that's the whole point. The corner, if anybody knows building like that, construction like that, you got to start with a cornerstone. So the two walls stand up. That's what the foundation's at.
Yeah, to land back, you have to understand the properties of soil first.
Right.
You know, because if certain soils aren't able to handle certain weights, right? So if you don't understand, before that foundation is even laid, the land that you're trying to build that foundation on, then your building is gonna fail as well, man. You know? Exactly. Yeah, you gotta survey that land, because you can have a strong foundation, but if that soil is too saturated, now you got something called a sump. Which means what? Now you're gonna have a dip within that building, which is gonna cause that infrastructure to break. You know, so every part of building is crucial, man. Then you have to understand the materials of property, or properties of materials as well, because not every particular material is good to build with. You know, it depends on where that location is.
That hard foundation, solid foundation, man.
Exactly.
To assure that it can't be moved under any condition.
In whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto an holy temple in the Lord, Yahweh.
Everybody's gonna look to you for advice. They're gonna look at your behavior patterns. They're gonna look at how you judge matters. They're gonna look at everybody that's up under you. They're gonna be looking at all of it. Your character, you know, how you deal with adversity. They're gonna deal with all that, man. So you gotta basically fit the criteria. Those are the criteria set for that particular position.
It says no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that willeth well in his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Without his fathers, these being lifted up with pride, he brought condemnation of the devil.
So you got this oversight over all the flock, but you being a novice, so you don't even know how to control yourself. You don't have any temperance. You know.
Oh, with the loop on it?
The hook on it.
Yeah.
Pull them back in. You laughing?
Yeah.
You laughing at home. You go out the pasture, you go out there, you gotta run over here. When you run over here, this one, you gotta be locked in. You can't, in today's terms, you can't just be on your phone and then things is happening around you. You gotta be circumspect.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why brothers say, some of the elders been saying it, like, when you out in public, don't just be airheads like the rest of the population just on your phone. Be up and be paying attention.
Lock in.
Be locked in.
And going back to that, it said less being a novice. You're not going to be a novice and be a bishop. You can't be a novice and an elder at the same time. Right?
6 months.
You're still at a child level, but you're in a position of being an elder. That's what you got going on with some of these self-willed camps.
You know, elders are buttons supposed to, acknowledge you or promote you. As being that, elder position.
Right.
You gotta have a good report.
Exactly.
Scriptures talk about having a good report. Those are brothers and elders.
Yeah. Because a novice is a newly convert. Like a proselyte is a newly convert. If you're a novice, you're pretty much still new. So you still got some growth to do.
And that's all right.
There's nothing wrong with that. We all come in at that stage. All of us. That's how you're supposed to come in. Is the Lord said, "He that shall humble himself as his child." Yeah.
That's really the first lesson for you is to humble yourself as a newborn baby, as that child. Because what is Jake in the world doing? Jake don't want to slow down for a few minutes to even hear you tell them something new. Before they can do that, they I know, I went there. You know how Jake be. Jake don't want to take a low position. Jake always trying to exalt themselves, even when they don't deserve to be there. Matter of fact, could you hit that scripture real quick? Jake want to take shortcuts to the top.
Yeah, Jake want to go straight to the top. Kind of back to what we were saying. We're talking about building on working towards something. Jake wants to be the top guy without putting in the work. Without putting in the real work. Hey, I'm a novice, but I want to be at the top, so let me start my own thing.
Jake wants to BBL.
Yeah.
Jake want to be the BBL trainer.
That was simple.
Yeah.
Proverbs 18 and 13. He that heareth a matter before he heareth it, it's like he that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him.
Yeah, that in itself shows level of maturity. How you respond to things. You don't just jump out and be so quick to have an opinion on something that you don't fully know. That's what females do.
The scriptures say the fool uttereth all his mind, but the wise hold it in until afterwards.
Yeah. Certain men be in position and they just be out there just wilding out.
That's your bag?
Certain groups out there, they out there just with their t-shirt with fringes on it, getting into it with everybody, antagonizing demons.
Hey, bro, t-shirt be crispy, the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Kiss my feet, heathen.
Yeah, they out there trying to get their boots licked and all kind of crazy shit.
Yelling on Edomites and
Yeah. You yelling at a so-called white person saying you're gonna go into slavery, and you don't even know his genealogy, his background. You don't even know if he might be a Jake or not.
Wasting your time on that, and you didn't let 15 Jakes take you could have been edifying on a pass.
we don't have the action to act. What does your bloodline go back to? Well, I'm Irish, or I'm Italian, or my family from Sicily.
I heard somebody after with that same response, I'm Black Irish. See, we knew you was a nigga. Like, clowning to see where his mind goes. He laughed it off like a Jake would do. Like, yeah, just vibe with the spirit,
On the strip, I remember we had, I want to say they were Cambodian.
Oh yeah, the one Jakes.
The Jakes, and we, they you can tell by their swag, they don't even look like no heathens, but they came up and were talking to us and, they said they, I don't know exactly where they were from, but we knew they was Jakes. We didn't, go ahead.
The brothers laughing at it. I bet y'all use the word nigga, They all start laughing, man. You just know Jake like that. Just know certain Israelite foreigners that's like that. Like, man, I know your spirit. It's all good. Hit that
It's Ecclesiastes 9 and 11.
Y'all
Got the NLT. It says Ecclesiastes 9:11 in NLT. I have observed something else under the sun. The fastest runner doesn't always win the race, and the strongest warrior doesn't always win the battles. The wise sometimes go hungry, and the skillful are not necessarily wealthy. And those who are educated don't always lead successful lives.
This is why we make sure, you know, and this is the protocol that happened here at Great Millstone. It don't get highlighted enough, but it's not, it don't have to. It's not for everybody out there to understand what we got going on inside the church. But just to briefly say it, we make sure that when we vet everybody, what do you vet them with? Their intent to teach, their intent to want to learn, their intent to want to grow. You know, and all the other qualities that go with being a part of the church. You know, so we're constantly putting you guys through those things so you can grow in the right way. So when the brick slides in to this foundation over here, it can just keep growing the way it's supposed to. Yeah. The last thing we want to do is add a brick and then be like, oh shit, we fucked up. Fuck out of here. You ain't a bad fit. You done fucked up these 2 rows. Now we got to go down 2 rows. You know?
Yeah,
you have more to, you know.
It's about maturing and growing, man. We're maturing into becoming leaders because we're gonna rule the next world, man. We're gonna be sitting on thrones, so we're gonna be judging. You know,
and like you said, to your point, you said we're learning to become leaders. It may not be a lot to be a leader right now. You know, so you have to just accept that, accept your role, and you know that the reward is what's coming. If you're part of that elect, I mean, you're gonna have your own country, you're gonna have your own planet. You know, you're gonna be able to lead. You're gonna, you know, but you have to gain those leadership abilities. You know.
Yeah, another quality that this is one of the things that Apostle Paul addressed too. Not being a stumbling block to your brother. You got certain brothers that might be younger in the faith, so their conscience is more weaker. So you don't try to do shit and then justify it, and in which if somebody can get it for me, I believe it's in 1 Corinthians 10. It might be 10. Yeah, not laying a stumbling block. Because it even says that all things may be lawful, but not all things are expedient.
Yep, that's right. We're saying.
You can show a lack of maturity just by just doing shit that's not in the spirit and being irresponsible. And now you got younger men that are impressionable and they're seeing and being influenced by your behavior. You know, they'll start to think that it's cool.
Or not understand the balance between it, you know?
Right. Or the little details that matter. You know, like, throw something heavy at y'all. Okay? This ain't to be a stumbling block. Because I'm going to explain it. No, I'm going to ask a question first.
Yeah, you got the one 8.
Is it okay to smoke? No. Right? Why not? How does it?
Holy Spirit can't dwell there. And on top of that, you know, you messing up your lungs, your brain, you got lack of oxygen. That's what smoking does. That's like your brain. Obviously, like I said earlier, Holy Spirit cannot dwell in the foul temple.
Exactly. But how does it make sense that you can smoke? You're like, huh? This is instead of stumbling block, this is to explain to you. Sometimes medicinally you may have to smoke. There's certain medicinal situations that you may have to. Now that don't mean you taking it all deep in your lungs. It's gonna be something usually orally or right in your upper respiratory to dry it out or whatever the case may be. To thicken the phlegm, like a nebulizer.
Yeah,
I can hear what you said.
like a nebulizer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you transfer that same quote unquote process into a different variation. So instead of smoking, maybe steam.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And you know, you necessarily wouldn't do tobacco or weed. You wouldn't do weed. You might, you know. So, but there's certain medicinal. I heard the apostle say this, Apostle Hart. There's certain situations where, you know, where you may need to. But he didn't expound on it. But I knew what he meant because I heard that before. That you know.
And like I've heard, like when you, there's
So I would never smoke tobacco. I would never smoke. In front of anybody that would think I was just out here just chiefing, you know. That's what he's talking about.
Recreational.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of, they say that there's certain properties and vitamins with how you cook a vegetable versus leaving it raw. You eat raw spinach, there's certain properties and nutritional values to it. And then when you actually cook it, there's other properties and nutritional values in doing it that way.
They're different.
And they differ from each other. You know?
Yep.
You got that scripture for him?
1 Corinthians 8. But meat commendeth us not to the Most High. For neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse.
And this was dealing with the controversy of eating meat offered unto idols. We know that in the truth, the Lord made all meats, the clean meats for us to just eat.
Okay.
The Lord made the heavens and everything in it for us to be able to eat, enjoy, whatever. But it was a stumbling block to those who at one point in time they was actually worshiping idols. So they fresh out of that life, and you in the truth, and you know what it is. But if you start to eat meat and they know that that meat was offered to idols, that will weaken their conscience. And they will start to think that it's all right, and they'll go back to eating meat like they're basically worshiping another idol. You know?
It's not the meat itself that's the foul, it's the act that was being performed with it.
Exactly. Right.
Took it off.
Got it.
Verse 9. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
This liberty become a stumbling block. You'll have certain men who, like it says in Jude, they crept in unawares and they turned the grace of our Lord into lasciviousness. You know, they use it, you know, for the means of an occasion to the flesh, but become a lust of it. And that's being a horrible example to those who you're leading. All right.
Our classic example of Thanksgiving. Classic example. You know, being able to we know we can go eat because it's just food, and we ain't praying or Christmas or Easter. We ain't praying in the name of those other deities or nothing like that when we eat those foods. But we pray in the name of Yahweh Shai. But to the newcomer, because of the heathen or those that ain't in this thing, I don't care what they think. I don't care if they think I'm commemorating. But like I have family members that'll be like, oh, if you, I thought you didn't believe in that. Why you at the Easter dinner? Like, shut your stupid ass up. You don't know what I'm doing.
Even outside of these holidays, like some more holidays, you go to these different restaurants, somebody that's making your food can be into worshiping other gods and you don't even know.
Let me add halal. That's not prayed in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. It's prayed over. That's all it really means. But it's not prayed over in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. So going to the halal guys or some place that say they have halal food, 10 times out of 10 is not praying to Yahweh Shem Shai.
Okay.
So it's prayed over. That ain't gonna benefit you, but that don't mean you can't eat it either. Because you're gonna re-pray over it. You know. So these are always examples of how to use these experiences and vicarious nature out of others' experiences that you can navigate through this.
Right. Yeah, like there's certain things that are lawful, but it could become a stumbling block. You know, it could become a stumbling block. Like we know that, for example, strong drink. It's no sin in drinking strong drink. You can drink wine. The Lord drank wine. But if it gets to the point where you just constantly need that drink all the damn time, and it's to the point where you're never in your right mind because you just constantly drinking it, that's when it becomes a problem. And if other brothers are around you and they seeing that, and you even telling them, hey, have a drink with me. Matter of fact, have another one. You're trying to fuck with me, you trying to you know how Jake in the world, and you trying to fuck with me on this, and they just keep going. Now I'm being a negative influence on this brother, and he looking up to me like, hey, I look up in the same vein as you know, as an elder, a bishop, an apostle, and he's cool with that, and he's doing that. All right,
yeah. Let's turn up.
Let's turn up then.
Yeah.
Or if I'm always in the club all the damn time, and then I got younger brothers that just came in, and I'm like, yeah, y'all can come to the club. Yeah, hey, let's go and party, man. Let's go hit up these drinks. Let's go, you know, let's go get with these females, and we doing that every weekend.
And the thing about it is, you can't. It's hard to correct that when these young guys coming in as impressionable. You can't just, because they already in. They like, shit, well, this is what we've been doing. Well, I've been in the truth here. This is what we've been doing. Why we gotta stop now? You know. So it's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down, because you could, you know, what the things the brother was just naming, as far as the drink and going out, that put demons on you. You know.
What are you trying to achieve by that?
Right.
Where do you have to be at? Do you have to be amongst to be in that spirit?
Right. What are you trying to accomplish by getting fucked up or having a party all the time?
So let me tell you what Apostle Hart says. This is modification where you remove the stumbling block. Yeah, okay, so what are you going to the club for anyway? To get on. So you gonna have a drink, buy a drink, be out there, hang out, get to know her, get her guard down, and then eventually say you hit it off. Once you hit it off, let's go out dancing. What the fuck are you going dancing for? I'm up here to get you. Now that I got you, you can dance in the living room, or you can throw away your dancing shoes. One or the two. There's no reason for it no more. You know? So that's the whole case. You know, but then you look at your Howard Shai and Paul, and they were like, it's better not to even put myself through that whole scenario. Stay away from the beach. You know, in certain cases, you know. Because I wouldn't go to the club if I don't want to. You know?
That's not where you go to find a wife.
Right. And if you're not finding a wife, you need to go to Over Highway. You know, everybody knows that.
Trap.
I don't want to give away the real spot. No, but you know, y'all got the point. Y'all got the point. I got the real point though. You know, so you ain't even caught up in those ways. You gotta look for a wife. You gotta think where a wife gonna be.
She ain't in church either, man.
She ain't there either.
Oh yeah, they're just as big as holes as on the highway. The highway hose is in the church.
Yeah, God.
This is let me get this real quick. So right 19:1, it says a laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich, and he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little. Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. So these things can actually take hold of you if you're not careful. You know, doing things in moderation, like the scriptures tell you.
Okay.
You know, sometimes it can become excessive, and next thing you know, you got a demon on you. You know.
Yeah. You gotta.
And that's when it becomes sinful.
Yeah, it becomes a vice unto you. It controls you.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. And just imagine you, a younger brother, he's getting pulled into that same influence. So now his faith, his spirit is being ruined because of your negligence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just focus on, you know, yourself. You know. We can't. Part of being a leader is to not be selfish, man.
Yes.
Can't be selfish. Some men get into that role and they think it's all about them.
Yeah.
What about what happened to where it says, "Be thou diligent to know the estate of your flocks."
Younger, what it say? Younger's mind the elder, something like that, because he watches for your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's telling you both.
Submit yourself to the elder.
Yeah, submit yourself to what? Yeah, I told his brother when it was just him and I in the camp, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of wilding out here in Vegas. I'm gonna cut off this shit off because I don't want to be a stumbling block. And as soon as I start cutting it off, fruit came.
Bro, this city right here, man.
And I was
Sin fucking city.
And then I was figuring this shit out.
Bro.
Oh,
There's nothing but temptation here. There's nothing but temptation.
It's a vice city.
It's vice. Yeah, it's a vice.
Easy. Don't we say easy temptation?
Yeah.
You know?
Shit come to you.
Yeah.
Hey, it will come up to you and be like, hey, I'm with you tonight. Like, oh shit. For real.
Right now.
Right now. Hey, what did Elder Yazazak say? So let me get this straight. You're gonna go out, get in the club, you're gonna go teach on the street, then go eat chicken, have some drinks, go to the club, get some girls, and get all your money, go home with all your money. It was more than all of that, but you know, the short version of it, stop playing. Yeah, with all that, it ain't meant, them things don't go together. You know? Just to roughly paraphrase what he said, but yeah, that's the point. So when you start seeing these avenues, yeah, if you have a real purpose or need for this thing, okay, then do it the right way. You know, if you just out for fun, it's 2025. Y'all missed it. Sorry, y'all. I hope y'all was having, when we read Peter 4, 1 Peter 4, y'all should have been having fun before you came into the truth. Not delaying it, but I'm saying what you did before you came in, that was your fun time. Now this fun becomes another thing, learning a new breakdown, going deeper into more words, getting some of the history, learning new Hebrew words. These things become fun to you. Boring to everybody else, but we know how powerful this stuff is. Man, I just see the Elder Yashimama put up a video. You just feel him getting power, you know, by every video. Like, dang, this brother's
teleport.
Long videos too.
Man,
It's an hour.
Minimum.
I be having backburner sometimes. I'm gonna have to watch a piece of this. I can't come back to it, man. And I'm gonna have to come back to it. I mean, you know. So that's just how it is. So when you're building this, you gotta think prudently about what you're doing, everything you're doing. Especially when you're in this, because other people are watching. Last thing you need is somebody to pull out some receipts on you. You know. So when you out in public, you can't be super. That's why the whole T-shirt thing just isn't a good look. People that argue, how come I can't have my ISUPK Sakari T-shirt? You know, my new Israelite, the church that I just made up T-shirt. You know, because it ain't just that, but anybody can now target you for something.
Tell them niggas where to work. See how long that lasts. Yeah, you like, okay, where to work. It's not everything is awful. But not expedient.
It's not expedient.
You know, it's not. Come on, man.
Hey, somebody at work asked me if I was a Hebrew Israelite. Guess what my answer was? Well, why would you? You know how I do. Why would you say that? I have heard them. I've never answered their question. To a yes or no. What would you say? I have heard some of the teachings. Some of it makes a lot of sense. I hear some of it. I get it. But I never said yes or no.
Hey, and that's the thing too. A girl asked me, she's like, "Oh, are you a black Hebrew Israelite?" I was like, "Black Hebrew Israelite? Black? No. What?
Disgusting.
Why would you consider me black? Like,
You know,
like, yeah, fuck nah, I ain't black at all. Fuck that.
You're right. I'm not a black. I'm a Hebrew.
Yeah, if she was there, I was like,
that's what he's told me. He said Hebrew Israelite. I was like, yeah, there's no other way out. How do I get out of this? You can figure out how to do that to not be. So, how many times did Clark Kent just like, whatever? Yeah, now you know. You know, what are you gonna do about it? You know, when did he ever do that? So we gotta keep that kind of mentality.
Right.
Because it's gonna be really unfashionable really soon. For this wisdom that we know. And that's really the whole point. The fringe isn't meant to be on the outside, it's meant to be on the inside. The outside was for the carnal people that just couldn't get it locked into their minds, into their spirit. That's why these same low levels do it on the outside still, the carnal side. We're making sure that these fringes in this border of blue is written inside you.
Matter of fact, that's in the scripture. It talks about how wisdom shall be unto you as a purple lace.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of remind me of the border of blue and fringes.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, you wear this wisdom as a robe. You know, as a garment. Yeah, man.
It's like bitter, like elders been talking about bitter foods. You know, like Friday night, I think they were talking Tuesday, one of the nights they were talking about it. And the elder Kanak was talking about it from the bay. He was talking about about how you need that bitter. Well, people be looking at you like, you eat that? You eat horseradish? Ugh. Or you know, they be thinking about different bitter herbs like, ugh. But no, what you don't see is how good I feel. What you might acknowledge if you don't know why I eat it, because it's not important. But you see the effects of what I eat.
Yeah, they don't see the after effects, or like you said, the benefits. Like, yeah,
Right.
it may
Or
burn.
they may only see the benefits
Right.
if they don't know what it was that you ate.
Yeah.
And that's sad that so like you, brother.
Yeah,
That's sad that changes in people's minds.
Yeah.
But our people are that simple though.
It came full circle. In the beginning, we was talking about trying to get the quick results.
Yeah.
And you don't see the negative effects of you trying to take the shortcuts. The same way when you doing the things that's beneficial for you, it ain't gonna be a smooth ride. It ain't gonna taste good. It ain't gonna feel good. But it's not meant to.
Yeah, like going through the process of being disciplined, being chastened. What was that in Hebrews when Paul said, basically that time of chastening is
Seemeth not to be joyous,
but grievous.
But yieldeth the
but it yieldeth peaceable fruits
of
righteousness.
That you're able say it.
That you're exercise.
To them that are exercised there. Grow thereby.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's like you got to go through that.
Yeah.
You have to go through.
Back to the weight room, right? You want to, gotta go to the gym. I get to the, you know how it be. You gotta get there. Okay, I'm in here. And then you work out, I'm like, damn, this is hard. I don't know. But you know, when you up there, when you got the slobber going, these ripping muscles, that's when the growth really happens. Well, the truth is the same way. When you really put yourself through those rigors, you start to, then you come out, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years later, and you come to the gym like, I'm trying to get ripped. I'm trying to put the slobber face on, Can't wait to get to that. Well, the truth becomes that same way. You looking for the bitter, looking for the, what was the other analogy they said, the apostle said, grief. You're looking, you acquaint yourself with grief. You want to be acquainted with grief. You're looking for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That also makes it to being a stoic.
Yep.
You got to be like a stoic. A stoic, he disregards any type of pleasure, anything that makes him comfortable. He doesn't want it on easy mode.
Yep.
He wants it hard. And he's willing to deal with whatever situation comes his way. He handling it. Problem after problem. He just what's next?
The monkey with the
Yeah,
snake.
I was just gonna bring it up. A cobra. A little monkey.
He took a cobra and put it around his neck.
And the first one you gotta after you looked at it, he was like, got all close faking on it, he was like,
Snapping at it, hitting it.
Then the guy nipped him a couple
Nipped
times.
him, yeah,
He looked at
hit
it,
a couple
grabbed
times.
him,
He just
put
grabbed
it on
it.
his neck, man. Turned his back on him.
Like a chain.
No, you get used to it. You get immune to it. Like it ain't a big deal. Jake, especially when you first come in, everything's gonna be a big deal. Early in the ministry, everything's gonna be a big deal. As you go through and you gain
Especially with women.
Get
Trouble in the flesh.
Romans 5. Romans 5. Yeah, please. Exactly.
Start 3.
Yeah, 3 is good. Yeah.
You weaken this thing
Matter of fact, start up
when you're having trouble in the flesh with your woman. That can actually pull you out.
Yeah.
But if you like a stoic, it doesn't really faze you, you know. She might think that she can, you know, have a hold on you, but nothing can have a hold on you. You know, you had an attitude. Well, you want to go? All right. I'm not losing any sleep. I still know who I'm supposed to be serving.
Okay. Simple.
That's simple.
Exactly.
Yeah, whether you hear or not. That goes for any woman. But if you know you weak, you ain't gonna have that same mentality, man.
Right.
Romans chapter 5, verse 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with the Most High Power Yahweh through our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Like your brother you made a point to the brother that was here earlier with the young child. About we have a forum that you're able to tap into to get those answers from somebody that genuinely is looking out for your soul. You're making that point to him, which is a very good point. You know, we have the spirit, we have faith in this ministry through the spirit, through grace, that there's a way to get through this. Because when you start reading this list that's coming, it's not a list, it's more of a process that comes. It's a tough process. You got it, brother.
Back in Romans 5, it says, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace where we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of Yahweh.
Quick point though. This grace period isn't forever. We're going to have to make payment. We're going to have to make good on what we, you know, you can't be like, if you call a power company, I always bring this up, we bring up grace. You call a power company, but hey, the bill is due. Be like, I need a grace period. Okay, well, we'll give you a month or 2 weeks or whatever. You know, right? We'll give you 2 weeks, then you got to have the money. Well, you can't be like, oh, okay, they're going to leave the lights on, I'm going to just sit back and watch TV. No, you better go get that money.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing here. We got to make sure we're using this time, this grace period, to get this money. And the money more so is the wealth of experiences of righteousness that we're trying to navigate to get.
The money is the building of your faith. Also, that's a form of currency because when the time comes, you know, Jacob's trouble. You know, hey, I got. Let me cash out on that faith that I've been building up. Yeah.
That made me think of you know how Yahweh Shai gave those talents for his servants, and he gave them so many talents, but it's really like we in debt. So the talents that he gave you was like you said, that grace period. So whatever you bring back is you making up for what you know what you already did.
Yeah, kind.
You already owe anyway, and you owe the 2 weeks. Don't forget that. You kept watching TV. You owe 2 weeks. As well as the bill already.
Yeah, when you under a grace period, you don't take that time to go and build more debt with that grace. You using that grace so that you can actually pay what you owe. You know, Jay come into this thing and they I don't know what be going through Jay head, man. But you in this thing because the scriptures say we're unprofitable servants. You know, the Lord he purchased us with his blood and redeemed us. So we supposed to glorify him in our bodies. You know.
Yep.
That's the spirit too, because it's not like we're not just trying to pay back that debt, but we also trying to get ahead because the bills don't come back around real soon. Like your brother said, we want to be able to withdraw from that spiritual bank account when shit get real. We don't want to just, we do want to make up for it and atone for the sins that we committed, but we also want to, do more for the Lord so that when that time comes, when we do need some grace and a little bit of, of mercy, we can be able to have that.
what's that in Timothy 6, where it talks about communication and where it talks about basically storing up for yourself against that time. I believe it was like around
I'm a guy right now.
1 Timothy 6.
Towards the end, right?
Yeah, 19. I got it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna start here at 17. Yeah. There's a First Timothy 6 and 17. Charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. That they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life.
There it is. And that's why it says in Ephesians, redeeming the time.
Yeah.
Put you using that time to put in that work. You know? Yeah. Putting in that work, man. Because that work is going to be stored up for you. The Lord can look on your works and see that you're a vessel of mercy. Because he can see on your works and saw the good that you did. You know? Even if you was a man that had money, but you used it and you distributed it, and you was charitable and you helped, you know, the ministry or whatever it is that you did, the Lord looks upon that.
Quick brief. On that exact topic, it's I believe it's Sirach, the 33rd chapter. 1 second, not 33, 29. It's like this is.
I can get while you.
Go
I got Galatians 5 and 13. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not your liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Going back into this grace period, man. We not, like the brother said, we're not supposed to use this grace period to pretty much just be bullshitting and getting into more debt, man. But you know, not only making up for the things that we got in debt for, but trying to do more.
And what was that at?
Galatians 5.
This is Sirach 29, because he was speaking about basically the acts of charity, right? Sirach 29 at the top, it says, he that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hands keepeth the commandments. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thou thy neighbor again in due season. All right, now I'm gonna jump down. This is at verse 9, right? 9 to like 11. It says, help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. Are you showing you that even the acts of charity and alms in which you bring forth towards the body, and Yahweh shall give you that reward in the spirit, man, right? It says, shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. It shall fight for thee against thine enemies, better than a mighty shield and strong spirit. And it's not talking about physical money, but those acts of charity. Hey, that's why I believe it was Apostle Paul that said, if I have all these and have not charity, I am nothing. Right?
Exactly.
So just going back to the topic right there.
Charity goes back to the Greek word agape, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Which basically means goodwill. You know? That's what we're to be doing, you know, while we're under grace.
Goodwill unto
Goodwill to your brothers, man.
the believers.
The fellow believers. The Lord said, if you would have done these things unto the least of these little ones, you would have done it unto me. You know? So, yeah, man.
Because you have, like you said, you have to look at that brother as Yahushua wanted us to look at that brother as his son. So you look at your brother as your servant, you know, Yahushua, you're helping Yahushua, you know. Because, you know, the elect, Yahushua is in the elect, you know. like the spirit of Yahweh Shai.
Like Yahweh Shai said, you'll
I
know
got my
who my
deep-
disciples are by the love that they have for one another. So they're going to be, charitable towards one another. You know, when one brother rejoice, we all rejoice. When one brother is sorrowful, we sorrowful together. You know.
So it's the reason why it says, be not weary in well doing. It also says how that charity covers a multitude of sins.
I was
We
gonna
don't
get
take
that.
charity lightly, man. Even if it's the smallest gesture among the brotherhood, man.
God.
Hey, everything counts.
Everything.
I'll read that for you. 1 Peter 4:8. Above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
At the end of the day, like one thing I always think about is you'll never know when we offend Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It can be something that you completely, it went over your head and you don't know that you offended the Lord, but by you doing that charity, that can cover for that. You know, it's a lot of things that we don't know, man, that the Lord is pretty much holding over our head.
And you contrast the example brothers given. That's a righteous mind that just makes human errors, curse mistakes, you know. Versus those that are in the world, there's people out there that they just their vibration is not according to anything charitable or goodwill or charity. They stingy, they niggars. They want to make sure no matter what's going on, they don't want to take the load. You know, they don't have any will positive to really speak to the next man about. You know, they're just is adversarial to every situation around. You meet Jakes like that. They're just a bad apple like that. They just got the rainy cloud. And it's because they got the rainy cloud on their head. They don't understand. You can explain it to them, then they get mad at you for trying to help them out. So that's a contrast in how that works. You know? So we got to make sure that we stay on the goodwill side of things. Like, you run into Edomite, hey, walking in and out the store, hey, I got the work for you, you know? To the last Edomite, whatever, but who cares? But I held the door for you. Because I was, you know, it's just, I was there, you know, to hold it for a second, to push it further open so you can catch it without having to go fresh or whatever, you know? Simple gestures go a long way. You should just be practicing to be the right type of person. That's all this is really telling us. And then you really extend yourself among the fellow believers. And that's what brought me back to the thought. Because in ATL, it was like, hey, brothers, I love you, brothers, man. I see the spirit of Yahweh Shai in you. I love that spirit.
And you know what?
Being able to see that.
Not to go off topic, but that's why these other people, they hate us. Because they see Yahweh Shai in us.
Yep.
You know? Because we know they hate Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
If we walk down Fremont Street, where all the people at right now, with Yahweh Shai, you know how look at us. They may not say nothing, but if they, you know, because they didn't know who he was. But first we were all dressed like this. We walked right down the center. They would hate us.
Yeah.
For real.
This world is all about pride. So if you showing humility, they hate you. Just like, you know, the rich despise the poor, the proud despise the humble too. You know?
Exactly.
Yahweh Shai, he taught us how to, you know, be humble. You know, to serve one another. You know, was that in Romans to prefer one another? Yeah, man.
It's selfless.
He that is chief among you, let him be a servant. Yeah, man. In this world, they don't know how to, you know, they couldn't fathom that type of, you know, that concept, you know, of actually being humble. This world doesn't teach you to be humble.
There's no glory in being humble.
Exactly.
To this world.
Exactly.
Another one that says, let every man esteem one another above himself. So in this world, it teaches you self-esteem. You know, it's not saying don't love yourself and don't take care of yourself, but you know, this world teaches you to be proud, man, especially in America.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
Somebody else has
Men shall be lovers of themselves, boasters, proud, covetous. Yeah, man.
Nobody else has some right now? No, I have to go back to one. Go ahead, bro.
Unless you have something, just grab it.
Let me get it real quick, because we're talking about so speaking on yeah, I'm shy. Philippians 2 and 6. For who being in the form of the Most High thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Being found in the fashion of as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. You know, it's how shy. You know, it's that great example of being humble. You know, he washed his disciples' feet. You know,
he got it. That's what he was.
This is John 13, and I'm starting at 13. It said, ye call me master and Lord, and you say well, for so am I. And it says, if I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet.
That's a form of charity. Hey, and it's literal, but it's also figurative. Because what are you really doing? The literal part is great, because who wanna have to? That's the most uncomfortable position to wash your feet. When somebody can just knock it out for work. You know? And it's taking a humility position, you know? It's just humility. Well, it's the same thing we're doing. We're showing you how to walk as a righteous man according to the scriptures. But that's where, and we say it to, like we're saying it to you, I always want to bring out to you. You're going to be saying it to somebody else. You know? Somebody else, their eyes are open up because it's chaos outside, you know, so they're going to want to hear this and that. So you're going to have to pass that message in the wisdom that you've gained and that you've learned. Instead of don't teach what you've been taught, but teach what you've learned. Because sometimes that's greater, what you've learned. Okay? You got something?
Colossians 3 and 12. Put on therefore as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, vows of merciness, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Yahushua Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness.
Was that KJV?
No.
What translation?
Colossians 3, 12.
No, what
KJV.
KJV, yeah.
And when you go into that definition of what it says, put on, it means to clothe yourself.
Right.
And they gave you the characteristics.
Hey, but it was nothing on the outside. What we
Right.
said earlier, right? Yeah. It's all internal things. Beautiful.
And I'll say, because we're supposed to be the Lord's woman, our adornment is supposed to be in what we do, how we carry ourselves.
Good work.
Good works, and not just the outward appearance.
Okay.
You know?
Same way you want your woman to be.
Right.
You know, you don't want her to just be some fine, woman that can't do shit for you. She can't cook, can't clean, can't sew.
She embarrasses you, out. She wears what the hell she want to wear. She talking loud to you.
Yeah.
She has no decorum. Ignorant, loud. She doesn't. You don't want that to represent you.
Yes, now.
Back in Romans 5, I'll read the topic and it says, therefore being justified by faith, we have peace with the Most High through our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of the Most High. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also.
This is back to that acquainted with grief in that servant position, because that humble servant position isn't a glorious position according to the world, but according to the ministry, it's one of the greatest positions you can be in.
No, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope.
Beautiful. And when you take that process, that's how you grow. That's how you grow with that process. You take the tribulation and patience. With patience, experience.
And experience.
Right? And
All
with
those-
experience, you get hope.
All those go hand in hand with each other.
Yeah.
Through the, what was the first one? Patience? Tribulation. The tribulation, patience, the tribulation. If you make it through the tribulation, you've gained patience through, you know, through that experience. And you obviously, you gain experience through suffering. So everything that the Heavenly Father puts us through it is for a reason, and it's really to build us.
Yes.
You know, to take all the impurities out of us.
I saw Schwarzenegger training video, right? Came up on YouTube. And he was like, I used to love said he used to love to when he would go home, he was just like dead. He was always trying to kill his body every day. He just going crazy, right? And he said, I love that feeling. I slept good at night. If I have me a woman, I sleep good, I eat a big meal, and I go do it again. But we didn't see when he was a regular kid starting out. On the first time he ripped himself, we didn't see that time.
Yeah.
What we saw was Conan and the Terminator coming out. You know, the glory that came from all the tribulation and that process of him starting to love the process of suffering.
You seen like the end result.
Yeah, right.
You know, you didn't see the practice that led up to it, because you have to love the practice. It's the same with what we do, man. You have to love studying. You have to love increasing in knowledge. You have to love experience with the word. Hey,
You gotta love the grind.
yeah, you gotta love it,
The
man.
whole process.
Like this is the game time.
Yeah.
We can have fun, and it seems to fire off, you know. But during the week, or you know, first few years in, even building that foundation where you already kind of know, and you already get a routine of how to get through the scriptures and how to find them and navigate, piecing stuff together. You know, tapping the things that your spirit is inclined to.
Yeah.
And then eventually tapping the things that your spirit's not inclined to. So you're well versed in that as well. You start loving that. And then when you be out here, you be like, you know, say it's basketball, all of a sudden you couldn't dribble 2 years ago, but now you making threes and you dribbling through the legs and doing and-one moves, and you like, oh, well, damn, he must have been working. Yeah, he been working. And we, you know, in the world we call it the shadow work. The stuff you do when no one's looking, the shadow work. This is no different than that. Stuff you do in the shadows when no one's paying attention. At 3 in the morning you knocking out push-ups, or you reading, or you watching, or listening, audio Bible, whatever. Stuff when no one's paying attention. Versus when you come out here, it all looks flawless. You know, when you come out here, you know what I mean.
Because when you're young, you know, you want to be on a certain level, but you have to be mature enough to understand that hey, it takes time to get there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's no cheat code or spark notes. You know.
It ain't no, you know, it ain't no cliff notes.
Nah.
I never forget, you was there, was like, all right, you don't know what it's like. We was all young then too. He's like, you don't know what it's like to have to cut the camera on and just go. You know, that kind of happens to you. You don't. It's not that you don't have that in there, but the routine or the ability to know where to navigate in your mind where to go. It's different. You may be perfect in practice. When you get in the game, it's like none of my shit's working because you don't know how to apply it. And the pace, the speed, and you know, to be ahead of foresee what can happen,
That's-
those things start to develop. That's where the experience comes in. Those things start to develop. So even still now, what do? If somebody get an article, we're gonna jump off this article and let the Spirit take us from there.
Whatever current event is,
Current
hot
event?
topic that week, we
Yep.
more than likely gonna go into it on camp, and that's gonna, but see, with that current event that's been going on all week, we already got the precepts. We already, okay, damn, we'll bring that out again. We brought it out yesterday at the live, bring it out again.
Yep.
And so it's like you've been practicing all week, and you just put it on the, let everything go.
Against this defense, I'm gonna get this
Yep.
shot all game. So I'm gonna work on against these defenses. This is how good the pros are. It's talking about Kobe thing before anyway. He said he would know the teams where they were gonna play the defense against him. He was watching what they was doing. They're working on stuff in other games that work for him, similar players. Okay, well I'm gonna have this baseline fadeaway open all night. So all week, what am I working on? All month, what am I working on? Him. Well, that's it. And so he hit it a few times in those games, and then he don't want to give it away getting up to the last few games, but he just tuned it up a game or so before, and now I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
It's no different than this.
Dennis Crawford.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some of the best boxers, like they you guys know, they spar almost every day.
Yeah.
Like every day they'll spar, maybe have like maybe one day off.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're like sparring every single
It becomes their life.
Yeah.
It becomes part of their life.
Yeah. Second nature.
It's second nature to it.
So when they go into that actual fight, even like, I think it was you, Elder, that saw a video that said that some people actually go into the old videos
Yeah.
and see their flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what I was gonna say. I don't know if Chance Crawford does it, but I'm pretty sure he does. They'll go and they'll have different sparring partners. Oh, this guy's good for the
Yep.
in close range.
Yep.
This other boxer, because the boxer I'm gonna fight, he's good at all this stuff. So this guy's good for up close. This guy's good footwork. This guy's good in
They're sparring
endurance.
just defense on these.
Right.
Yeah.
This guy is gonna be defensive. If I can, then this guy is gonna have to. I'm gonna have to take some of his power. See if I can just take these hits from this guy. Just working on different little aspects, and that's what this is.
With the ball that's in,
Yeah. He was watching them games too. Gladiator games.
He was being inspired, just seeing that, and that's why he was using those analogies
And his mind
with the truth.
like ours, if I may. And like ours, our mind don't turn off just because we're not talking about the Bible directly. He's watching the sporting event and he's thinking about scriptures. He's thinking about this ministry. And he's applying it to the ministry now. Now he just wrote down in the sermon that he's doing, or letter, and he's applying it to the ministry. Well, that's how it is for us. That's what the people in the world hate about us. How you gonna go into, LeBron James scores 40 points. How you gonna turn that into something to talk about the Bible? Hey, it's possible. It's possible. Trust me. All roads lead to this word. Trust me.
God.
When you really live it.
That's what the scriptures say. It says, "For wisdom is the mother of all."
Yeah.
Basically, she's the foundation of everything that we see around her, man.
You watch a boxing video, like the fight last night, right? You watch the fight and you be like, damn, they did just throw him for like an hour.
Yeah.
3 minutes at a time.
45 minutes.
Yeah, I better go to the gym.
Yeah.
I better get some rest or something. Like, geez, I better go heal. You start really thinking about how to apply things, the wisdom in your own life.
Yeah, you think about, like, from that aspect, you think about endurance. Like, okay, I need to have some endurance in this truth. I don't want to burn myself out, but I also don't want to get out of shape. So, it's a balance. So, you can apply it to everything.
Sometimes,
it's true.
somebody get that in 2 Timothy 2? Yeah, 2 Timothy 2. Start at verse 2. Because endurance is the key to this thing, man. As I said, quoted brother, I think, he read it in GMT. And the race is not to the swift. Well, it's a long man's game. It's a long distance run. Now, we're sprinting at the end of it, so we got to sprint now. But it still was a long race. Whoever got it can read it. 3 is a there too.
This is 2 Timothy, verse 2. And it says, "And the things that thou hast heard of me amongst many witnesses, the same committed thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also."
This is that role we were talking about already. We was already talking about that role. And as we pass it down, y'all gonna get it, and someone else is probably gonna get it. But make sure you try to keep the doctrine as tight as possible. How do you do that? You gotta spar every day, gentlemen. You start sparring, they kill. You get slow. When you get slow, that's when y'all know that. Those young guns. The movie Young Guns. You gotta test yourself every day, gentlemen. Stop telling yourself, get slow. You got it.
This is 2 Timothy 2, and this is verse 3. "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach.
Yep.
No man warred to entangle himself with the affairs of this life."
Mike Tyson was, he made a statement. He was like, I forgot who he was talking to, but he was like, I was training, getting ready for a fight, and I was getting into that mode. And basically, he was trying not to say that murderous mentality, but that's what he